Hello crafty friends, welcome to another card making tutorial. Today I'm going to take a sketch from my sketch booklet and create a card that's very close to the sketch. If you'd like to download the sketches that are in this sketch booklet, then check out the video description. There's a link to all my sketches there. So this is the sketch that I'm going to work with today. We'll take a closer look at it as we go through the video. But I decided today to work with some warm colour cardstock. I think I'm feeling those cosy autumn colour vibes at the moment. So I grabbed a pad of paper that had got lots of warm colours in it, took out one of each paper, and then I used my paper trimmer to slice off strips that were 5mm wide. I decided not to use strip dies because I wanted to stick my strips together side by side and then stamp on top of them. And when you use dies to cut strips, you get a beveled edge and the stamping doesn't stamp uniformly. But when you use a trimmer, you don't get such a beveled edge. And the stamping is more continuous. There aren't breaks in it across those edges. I hope I've explained that properly. So I took a piece of scrap card, put some double-sided sticky on it, and then added my strips, butting each one up against the one that I just stuck down so there were no gaps between them. And this is going to form the stripy bit that goes diagonally across the sketch. I was quite careful about the order that I put my strips down. There are some quite bold strips and some more subtle strips, and I didn't want all the bold ones to be clustered together and all the subtler ones to be clustered together, so I alternated them. It goes bold, subtle, bold, subtle, bold, subtle, bold, I think. Once I got them all stuck down though, I sliced off the excess white card using my trimmer. And then I had a rummage through my stamps and I found a leaf vein stamp. And again, that's kind of autumnal. I think that's definitely the mood I'm in at the moment. So I dusted the strips with talcum powder to get rid of any static moisture or grease. I then primed my stamp. I'd never used it before. I think it might be a Stampin' Up one, but I got it from the charity shop. And I just rubbed it on my skin, on the back of my hand, to make it more receptive to ink. I inked it up with sticky embossing ink and stamped it twice on the strips so that the whole thing was covered. There was a bit of overlap in the middle, but I was going to cover that up with the hexagon anyway, so that didn't matter. I then sprinkled over some gold embossing powder, heated it with my heat tool, and once it had cooled and set, I added some high-tack white glue to the back of it and then stuck it on the front of a linen textured card blank at a jaunty angle, and so that when I added the hexagon would be in the middle of the card about a third of the way down from the top, so it conformed to the rule of thirds. I did trim off the overhanging bits with my trimmer, and then I die cut a stitched hexagon out of one of the yellow pieces of card, and then I die cut some white whimsical circles and stuck those on the hexagon as per the sketch. That brown piece of paper is just some double-sided adhesive release paper that's left over. It's great for protecting your die cuts when you're pressing them down and burnishing them down. To stick my hexagon down, I just popped a little bit of glue on the back, and then I placed that, as I said, a third of the way down from the top in the middle of the card. And for my sentiment, I chose a stamp that says "Thankful for you." I just felt that this particular shape stamp would work really nicely on the hexagon. I stamped it 3 times in black pigment ink, just in case I messed it up. And then I heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. And not only does it make it slightly dimensional and glossy, it makes it smudge proof, because I wanted to fussy cut this out and I knew if I used a pigment ink and I didn't heat emboss it, I was going to smudge it while I was fussy cutting. And nobody wants a smudgy fussy cut sentiment. To make the edges of my fussy cut sentiment look a little more die cut, to neaten them up, I ran around them with my embossing tool. This just bevels those edges over like a die would do. It's amazing how such a little detail can really elevate a card, I think. I used high-tack white glue to stick my sentiment onto my hexagon. I did pop a little bit of card on the back in a couple of places to keep it level where it crossed over that white circle. Did a bit of scaffolding. And according to the sketch, the last thing I needed to add was a bit of foliage. So I decided to use one of the bolder coloured bits of cardstock and die cut out a leafy frondy thing. I did feel it was a bit flat, so I added some worn lipstick and Spice Marmalade Distress Oxide to it, and I put some gilding wax on. This was actually a bit pointless because if you look at the close-up photos at the end of the video, you can't really see all that colour variation, but never mind. I did put some double-sided sticky on the back before die cutting it out, so it was really simple to stick down. And to give it a bit of dimension and gloss, I went over the leafy frondy bit with some crystal glaze, which is very similar to glossy accents. And here's the finished card. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I did stick very closely to the sketch, but obviously you can adapt the card however you want. You don't have to use a hexagon or circles or fronds. Do what you are inspired to do, and you could do this in any colour scheme and for any occasion as well. I think it's quite a flexible sketch. Right, I hope you've enjoyed today's video, hope you found it helpful, and I hope to see you back here very soon. Thanks for watching, bye for now.